We are looking at a simple two-rope food hanging system for bears or any other creature we're trying to keep them up and away from. It's a simple system. There's the throw rope that's blue and the hanging rope that's red with a carabiner that connects the two. All right, this food bag is homemade, siliconized nylon, and it's wider rather than long. And then inside of it is a plastic bag that contains all of the others. This bag is different. It's a Reynolds oven bag, so it's odor-proof. It's non-porous. So, and then I just tie a loose overhand knot at the top. Well, the other thing that's always in that bag is my throw rope system, so which consists of just four things. The ditty bag that you're seeing right there. There are two 50-foot cords in there. One is accessory cord, 3mm. The other is a special Spectra cord that also reflects light. And then the fourth thing is a steel carabiner. It's a snap link from the hardware store. You can use one of the small lightweight ones for holding the cup to your bag. Those are aluminum, and I do find that I wear a groove in them and have to replace them very often. So here's that small steel snap link from the hardware store. The other thing that you need to add are some pebbles to put in. So the more rounded, the longer that your bag will last, so you don't poke holes in it. I was lucky here to find a bunch of rounded gravel that were dry. 4 or 5 handfuls, but never ever use a rock. You cannot Christmas wrap a rock. And even if it's in the bag, if that swings back and hits you or someone else, there's no give to it, where the pebbles sort of seem softer. I use a slippery overhand knot there. We'll look at that again. So the first one that I undo is going to be the throw rope. It's got the carabiner already attached at one end, which then you have to flake out all 50 feet of cord, which takes a while, and make sure it doesn't tangle on anything. Once the 50 feet of cord are out, you get out to the other end, and that other end is going to go through those 3 loops that you put in the pebble bag, the ditty bag. So those will be really easy to untie, the knot that's holding the ditty bag shut. And then the other knot that we're going to use that's also really easy to untie, which is why we use it, is a bowline, because that's one of the easiest knots to trip and move back once it's held a load. Then you walk over to the tree that you've already chosen and the branch that you've already chosen. You want it to be, 15, 18, 20 feet high for where the branch is. It's nice if it's out away from the trunk of the tree, but we can also pull it away. What usually takes the longest of this is to get a throw right, so it's nice when it happens the first time. And you try to catch the pebbles from ever hitting the ground, because that's how you break ditty bags, is when the bag full of rocks hits the ground. Okay, then you need your second rope, which is going to be the one that runs through the carabiner, and we have to haul the carabiner up. So this is just unflaking 50 feet of the other cord. The reason we don't just use one cord is to save weight. That sounds backwards. But these little skinny cords with the weight of the food bag on them will just wear a groove into the tree branch and get stuck and harm the tree. So I always keep a little thermometer on my food bag, because it's first thing in the morning that I want to see the temperature. And then here's that simple overhand knot that I only pull part way through. So I've got 2 loops there on a bite, and then there's the other end, and then that's where I will eventually tie the rope in. So there's the carabiner. So I'm now feeding that second rope, which is going to be the hauling rope, through that steel carabiner. And I then will haul the carabiner up high. So The food bag will get added using that same bowline, again for the same reason that a bowline's really easy to untie. So it's you draw the figure 6, the little bunny comes up through the hole, runs around the back of the tree and back down in the hole. So do you want to learn a bowline. Pretty handy for any time that you put a rope under stress and you need to untie it. All right, now we have to haul the carabiner up. So make sure you thread the rope through it, and you're pulling on the end. It's obvious when you're there, but you're pulling on the end of the rope, the haul rope that has the pebble ditty bag in it. And that carabiner goes up to within maybe 3 feet of your overhanging branch. It's nice to have it hang down, that way if a bear were to go out on the limb, it's hard for it to reach down if it's hanging down a ways. Plus, the longer that it hangs down, the more you can pull it out away from the trunk of the tree. All right, so the pulley is up high enough, so now we have to take the other end of the throwing rope and tie it off. Always look back up, take a look, make sure that it hasn't come loose, that the carabiner is still hanging at the height you want it to. And now you're ready to haul the food bag up. I found I can't carry much more than about 22 pounds, or it just gets too hard to pull it up. So if I'm going to have more food than that, more people, we have to do multiple systems. Okay, so now the food bag is hauled up to the edge of the pulley, and we turn this one, tie this one off. Both of these knots are far better if you wrap many times around the branch itself, and then all the friction is taken up in those wraps around the branch and not in the knot. So that knot becomes easy to untie, and I usually just use 2 half hitches there. When it comes time to lower it, all day long you can raise and lower it really easily as you need food for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. And then at the end of the day, anytime I pull it down, I put a knot right there so that one end can't accidentally come pull up through the pulley, and then you have to start all over again. So at the end, when you're ready to leave, you bring down your food bag, then you untie the hauling rope, go back to the food rope that's double, and pull down the throwing rope through the food bag via those 2 strands from the food bag. Then this is wrapping it up. I wrap it around my fingers. Then with a few feet left, I wrap it 2 times usually through the donut hole. That keeps the 2 sides from getting tangled. It makes it a lot. I have very, very few tangles if I do this. And then I wrap the whole strand together and tuck the carabiner, or not the carabiner, tuck the end of the line through the last wrap and pull that tight. And then everything goes into the ditty bag, and then the ditty bag goes in. So here it is. Simpler than it seems when you're putting it together, but there's a hanging rope, there's a throw rope, and the food goes up and down through a pulley. And the other thing that you need is the ditty bag full of pebbles.